I'm Charles Bushmanis. I'm one of the two heads of this new structure we are creating in Riga Technical University called RTU Design Factory. The other head of the structure is Guntis Kulikovskis, who is one of the person who brought good robotics scene in Latvia. And I have to say it's a pleasure to work with him. On my side, I'm more from the design side, with a design background in both product and industrial design, but gently over time switch from making things to making things happen in the social design field. So, how the project started. The project, we had the first talk about this RTU Design Factory in Riga Technical University in April this year. It was an idea about, okay, we want to make some sort of prototyping center where students can learn something but run course and an introduction to design. It was kind of in the cloud idea. And little by little, we developed this idea together with my colleagues, and we came up with the RTU Design Factory concept, which had no name at that time, and we saw something very similar happening elsewhere in Aalto University in Helsinki. Maybe you heard about Aalto Design Factory. Then we went there, we had meetings with them, we discussed with them, and we built the project in a bit of a similar manner, just took their ideas, learned about their mistakes, not to repeat them, and adapted it within a socio-cultural context of RTU. So how is, what is RTU Design Factory? So RTU Design Factory, the main aim of the Design Factory is education. It's bringing three fields together that are working in product development, which is design, business, and engineering. And using the strength of each of these fields, combining them together to support projects. And amongst the projects we have one principle, which is we work only on real projects. So no theoretical project or doing something for doing it. So it's either a challenge given by a company or a technology developed within RTU or another university in Latvia or not in Latvia that we're taking. We're assembling teams of students from different fields and then make things happen. I'm gonna go to the programs a bit later. Then how we constructed the project. So the first thing, well, we have this education program, we have this nice idea, but we need space. We have roughly 400 square meters of space in RTU in Kipsala. It was important for this structure to be in the very center of the campus. Since we're aiming at students, we're aiming at researchers, at laboratories, and also at supporting diverse education program. So we have 5 main spaces. I think the most important space we have there, if you want people in the design factory to work long hours and hard, you need a kitchen. That is extremely important. So we will have a kitchen fully equipped, but also in the kitchen implementing tools, creative tools to work together, such as one wall will be a blackboard wall, for instance. We'll have a 24/7 video link with another Design Factory member of the Design Factory global network. So you can have your morning coffee while they're having dinner, or you see them working overnight while you're having lunch. But then you can also communicate and interact with them. Then we have a hot desk area. Hot desk area, which is a space you come, you meet with your team, you start working there, work on your projects, develop your ideas, but you can also invite people. You can also get a meeting room to work together with your partners or having a specific workshop, etc. You can also modulate this hot desk area. You want to move all the table, you need to move all the table. Let's get everything out. Let's put a couple of robots on the floor and make them fight, see what happens. So we aim for this space to be extremely flexible. Then we have a social space. I mean, it's nice to have a kitchen, but you're not going to spend your life in the kitchen, and sometimes you want to rest in a more comfortable place. So coffee table, couches, just come and relax. And then workshops. The workshops are composed of 4 main areas. We have the biggest room is what we call the dirty prototyping room. Is any one of you familiar with the concept of dirty prototyping? So let's say just you take a laser pointer, you tape it to your head to see how much your head moves while you're doing some mouth surgery at the dentist. And from there you understand the first things, then you tape 2 lasers together, some gimbal and something, and you start creating the first prototype of your product that aims to solve an issue. This is from a concrete example we had in Aalto. And more recently, we had people that needed to simulate a vibration making device. So we brought a bunch of material and they came to us, hey, we broke the saw. Like really happy with a big smile there. Okay, saw me. Yeah, that sounds cool. Because they removed parts of the saw, used bits of it to make a plate vibrate for a workshop to be able to test and analyze things. Then we have a molding room also where you can work with silicone, rubber, resins, concrete, wax, whatever you think about molding. We have the digital room where we should have a CNC Viepa, CNC lathe, high-speed CNC mill with an extremely high definition. So when you need to prepare some metal parts, wood parts or prototype or even molds, that is a very good machine. And then the 4th room we have in the workshop is the 3D printing room, where we come here. And there we aim to have a 3D printer, which is multi-material, multicolor, which would be the 2nd machine in Europe. The closest one is in southern Germany. All these equipment, we aim to use them mainly for the programs we're running, the education program in product development, technology development, but also for the laboratories of the university, giving them access to these machines so they can develop their projects, the teachers, other education purpose, and the downtime of this machine, we want to have them and to be able to support innovation in Latvia, product development. So you're a company, you need specific 3D print, come in. And what we also aim to do for this machine, it's not interesting for us to hire someone only to take care of this machine. We would like to train students on them, to have students taking over the job. So we train them, we trust them, then we can provide jobs to the students so they continue to learn, and it's making it easier for them also to find a job in the industry, learn about 3D printing and go further. We also are going to have a laser cutter and a few other interesting tools in this workshop. Then, now I go to the lab. The lab is maybe the most special space in the design factory because it's a room which is 80 square meter in which we will have a small 4-axis CNC mill. I mean, you want to mill some bike parts, I don't know. A vinyl cutter to make stickers. If you need to make details, would it be on an architectural model, on a design model? But also 4 3D printers. Well, you have a picture of one of the printers we have here from Mass Portal. In free access to all students of university. Principle is you get trained on the machines, you can use the machine whenever you want. You get trained on all the machines we have in the space. We unlock your access, you have access to it 24/7. And the aim of this is really supporting student projects and get the whole university level up in their projects. On the organizational point, we are not linked to any faculty in the university, which give us entire freedom to work with everyone, support everyone, but also run side projects, such as now we're discussing, well, we're actually creating the workshop, 3D printing workshop for kids, a sticker making workshop for kids, which are then workshops which could be operated by students and run around in school, in different places in Latvia, and why not abroad during fair or events. So far, remarks, comments, objections?
How many must go to Princess Europa?
4.
Wow.
But we also have the mass portal guys having their office nearby. It's very practical.
We can hold the stock inside the old design factory, not just building in our office.
I mean, if you want to store more in the factory, we're pretty open to that.
We can store them. Okay.
And where physically will be this space?
So the lab will have, if everything goes according to plan, an official opening on November the 7th.
Okay.
It's located in Azenes Jela Astonplatsmit, which is this architecture faculty building, the one with the black tiles. And well, when you're in front of the factory, you have the stairs, you have the bike rack, and behind the back you have the bike, you have some windows. We're there down in the basement. We're the only room in the building with pink walls, with blue walls, with yellow walls. So we started taking possession of it. We're already starting operating soft activities in there. We have a couple of 3D printers working, which we're experimenting, training ourselves with, testing the limits and preparing the documentation for the students. Next week we're starting with the vinyl cutting, and normally by mid-November or end of November we have the small 4-axis CNC mill. And if everything goes well in December, we have another very cool machine in there, which you will see.
Yeah.
When is the next 3D meetup?
In a month, in the middle of the
Maybe we can
November.
go to them.
Maybe if they're ready to host us, probably we can.
Use some practical
Yeah.
workshop.
I think we could.
If you invite us, we could come.
I think we can talk about it later, but I'm pretty enthusiastic about the idea.
Yeah, okay.
So now I go gently back to the product development process. What I have seen and what I have observed as a designer, but also I have a business background and engineering background, that is yet another story. But as a designer, when I develop a product, it's I have this such great product, I finish, I have all the details. Now I need a businessman to help me. Then talking to the business side, hey, now we need an engineer to fix the last details. Then you have another side. You have, the businessman. Hey, I have this great idea. Let's make an electronic device to measure how much water you drink during the day, etc., etc. Now, what I need a designer. And then it's, but I can make the outcome. I can think about a lot of things, but some small technical details. Right, you need an engineer also to work on it. Then you have the engineer. Hey, I have this wonderful product. It's ready. It's very strong. It's solid. I need someone to make it look beautiful because it's quite ugly now. And then you also need someone for the marketing. Problem with this structure of trying to add people over time is that you miss the holistic point of product development. So in the programs that we aim to run, product development program and technology development program, we want to get all these people together. Engineer, designer, business from the very beginning of the creation of the idea to have the strongest possible project, but also for the designer to understand what can an engineer do, for the businessman to understand what is the role of design in the process. Because very often, what is the difference between an electronic engineer, an electrical engineer, and a mechanical engineer? If you never worked with them, it's very hard to tell at some point. So, I was talking earlier about the product development program. So product development program has three main components, which is the company. We work only on real projects. So what we're looking from companies, we're looking for challenges. Not the challenge on how to design the box for my product, but for wider challenge. How can we measure the quality of roads in Latvia? That kind of challenge, something that is for them complicated, that they don't have necessarily the time or the resources to take. We make two promises to this company because we're extremely honest with them. One promise is we take your money. Well, we take your money. And the second promise is we will do our best. We cannot promise a result because it's open. We don't know how to do it, what the result will be. So we cannot really promise anything. What we can promise is to go as far as we can, as good as we can. And in these programs, we have student teams. So student teams are composed between 10 and 15 students. In this team will be students from other design factories. There is one in Australia, Swinburne. There is one in Finland, Aalto. There is one in Shanghai, Dongji. There is one in Chile, Santiago. There is one in New York, CERN in Geneva. One opening soon in the Netherlands, and another one opening soon in South Korea. The budget the team have, part of the budget will be used for travel. Maybe you are part of a team which is based in Korea. So then you need to travel to Korea at some point to work with them, or the final presentation, or meet the company. Then, third component is the design factory itself. Well, the design factory space, come, experiment, break our saws, meet, work, move the table, test your projects. I mean, it's here for this. Do first, apologize later, but do it in a honest way and behave. And it's also a place where we encourage people to share their ideas. Hey, I have this great idea, but I don't want to talk because you're going to steal my idea. I mean, if you don't have the passion I have, you can try to steal my idea, you're never going to do it as well as me, if you're a startup. If you are in an education structure, share your idea to get input, to get criticism. If you talk with a colleague who is maybe in ethnology, in medicine, about mechanical problem you have, maybe they have extremely valuable inputs. And we have stories in the design factory of an ethnologist who solved a boat propulsion challenge from ABB by looking at how Inuits were working in the Arctic. Then the design factory. What is the role of the design factory team in the process? We are providing the teams with mentoring, with support, a series of lectures from project management to prototyping, but also if the team has a specific need. I mean, maybe you need a crash course on nuclear physics to be able to understand your challenge. Maybe at some point your team is crashing and you need to recreate the structure, to have some team building. These are things we are here for. And we're also here to connect these people in the university, because a university is a huge brain with many people knowing extremely specific part who are the best in their domains. So we can connect the students to the appropriate person. If you don't have the tools, you need a 20-ton press. Okay, this is the guy, call him. From us, you're going to get access to a 20-ton press to test what you need. Remarks, comments, objections?
How will you get the business people?
How will we get the business people?
Yes.
So the PDP is a C course. So meaning it's open to all students of all universities in Latvia, first thing. And the second thing, we go one step further. It does not matter if you're a bachelor, master, doctoral student, researcher, or academic staff. You can come and be part of this. So this is also the structure of the course itself is extremely open. Then in the future, we are currently talking about a course specifically aimed at master students in collaboration with another university.
Is it some sort of co-working space too?
It's not, the design factory is not really a it's a co-working space for teams who have a project within the design factory. But then in our structure, we are open enough in a sense that, I mean, you're a student team, hey, let's build a catapult to throw bowling balls as far as we can. Your faculty says, no, we're sorry, we cannot give you a space, you cannot do it here, it's too crazy. We're probably the guy who's gonna say, hey, welcome, here are the tools, we're here, ask us if you need anything. Concrete example about the bowling catapult. That is something which happened in Aalto University. And the students managed to build a catapult to throw bowling balls. In the process, they got 2 patents. And do you have any idea on how far they throw the bowling balls? They had to close down navigation on a lake to test the prototype. They throw the bowling ball 600 meters. So this is what happened when you're just here to support, I would say. We hope to have collaboration agreement with other universities, such as Latvia's Universitat and others, so we can also grant access to their students to this knowledge base and connect them. So at the moment, it's fully funded by RTU. On a case by case, we could imagine having students from other university, but we cannot at that point open it to students of all universities just like this, because someone needs to pay our salaries and the rent of the premises and the electricity and all these basic costs. Questions?
Sounds good.
Then, the lab. I think I started presenting the lab earlier, going a bit more into detail about it. In the lab, we have these 4 3D printers. And it's how do we integrate these 3D printer, these tools, within the university for students? How does it fit with education? We had a lot of discussion in a sense of, do we create a special 3D printing course or something for credit point and so? And the conclusion we had is, well, that could be interesting for some people, but the best way to have it happen is let it be. Let everyone come, everyone try the machine, everyone learn to use them. And the person interested will go deeper, will look for such courses. Maybe they go abroad, maybe it will exist in Latvia. But our role is here in this first critical step of, well, we have this tool, we can help you use it, we can teach you. Now, what can you do with it? It's also about, you're not going to print your full bicycle and your full prototype of it, but detail of a connection for a design project. Recently, we had students from the robotic club printing mock-ups of robots they're creating, saying, okay, does it work? Do I have the proper spacing? Does all my equipment fit in? Then you can start producing it with a laser cutter, metal, and go for the most expensive work. It's a very good way to test your ideas. Let's say tomorrow I have a project, I'm creating a remote control. How does it feel in the hand? I mean, a drawing is nice, a mock-up is nice, but at some point you need to have it in your hand, you can add some weight inside and really feel it. Then you can imagine cutting some rubber pads, gluing them on the top, and okay, feels good. Or having some moving pieces. We also brought this summer 3D printers to a doctoral school on product development and technology transfer. And there we had students who never touched a drill in their life. Well, one particular student, he never made a hole with a drill in his life. At the end of the week, he built a flying quadcopter with a gimbal at the bottom, able to orientate a camera. And then, well, you need kind of a lot of parts to do that, and big part of the parts were 3D printed. I mean, we never thought someone would need propellers, so of course we did not brought any propellers, but we had the 3D printers, so we printed 4 propellers for it. We had another team of students who built a mock-up of an automated microscope. So you would put some plate on the microscope, push a button, and it would start moving following a random pattern. We had a team there also working on a project which was aimed, very web-based project. It's a company called DPA. They have a product called Capture-Eye. Did any one of you heard about it? So Capture-Eye works in that way. You open a website, then you have a QR code on the website. You take a picture of the QR code, log in, and you're logged in. And then the challenge was, well, what do we do with this technology? How do we adapt it in a daily life scenario? Where does it make the more sense? I mean, of course, you start with these basic ideas, opening cars, opening doors, etc. And they went further. They contacted the company, they made quite a few phone calls, a lot of emails, and they saw that there is something to do with package delivery. When you buy something on the internet, then you get it, a lot of people get it delivered in these big post boxes in shopping centers and other places. Then how can you access it easily without printing email, remembering the code, you're logging your password, and all that procedure? Take your phone, take a picture, it opens the box, and you have it. And they're currently continuing developing it. I cannot tell more about it, but it went 2 or 3 steps further in the process with it. So this is how we can, just by bringing 2 3D printers on a 1-week workshop, these are possibilities that open. Now we're talking about architecture students who are finally saying, finally I can make complex model play with 3D and complex shapes in architecture. And I don't have to say no to myself because I know it's going to be too long to make a model. I can just make it. You're talking with designers and they see, okay, now I can make details for furniture. Talking with fashion designer, textile designer. Oh, I can imagine print something. I can imagine having some pieces inside to create relief. Or I have a special button. Or I have the fashion show and I want some special thing in the hair. I can make that. Questions? Okay, and the lab, operating principle of the lab, what we're aiming to do here is to have it as open as possible, as I said, for RTU students, but not working as, okay, this is a service, you have to pay that much amount of money, etc., etc. We're trying to do it as for donation. So we are clear about our costs for each machine, then it's up to you if you want to donate or not. As long as donations are covering our costs, we keep it as for donation. If not, we have to go for a paid system and then we multiply prices by 5, roughly. So, for me, when I mean for me, I mean what is in the design factory for me as a company, for me as a student, for me as a teacher, for me as an institution. So for me as a company, if you're a company and you have an interesting project or you need some help with prototyping, then you can come to us if the project is interesting and there is something for the student to learn or to gain from this, then we give the job to students. We don't want to do it ourselves. We want students to learn from it, but we're not going to put a student who never touched a machine on it. We're going to assemble a team of students whom we trust and we know they can do it for you. And if they completely mess the first prototype, they're going to do a second one. I mean, profit and losses. What is it for me as a student? You're a student, you have, let's say you have a business idea or etc. You're there, okay, let's try and make it happen. I need a bit of expertise in electronics, in robotics, 3D printing, etc. Come in. We're here for this. We're here to support. What is in the Design Factory for me as a teacher? How can I interact with Design Factory? If I want to try new teaching methodologies, new approaches, if I want to say, okay, let's stop doing PowerPoint, let's experiment presentation in theater, running around, express how viruses are working without using PowerPoint. This is something we can help with and support the teaching teams. But you can also imagine more simple ideas also which we can support. And yeah, and what is in there for me as a startup? In Design Factory, if you're a startup, you need a bit of help. I mean, we're also here to support innovation in general. You have an innovative idea, come to us. I'm pretty convinced that some students will be interested to work with you, or we could try to find the proper person to connect you with within our network. So I think this is it for my presentation, but we still have time for questions, remarks, comments, and objections. So, any questions?
Any questions?
What was about this PubLab asks for some publicity that PubLab can publicate these amazing works. What happens in the PubLab? It's a prize for what you can come and do things. And for the lab, that you pay donation if you want.
If you want.
But for publicity, maybe you must think about that. You must share these ideas to the world.
Yeah, I mean we're sharing it already through the Design Factory network.
These other processes in the Design Factory.
And I think what is happening in Design Factory also, I mean, students aim to share their project. You have an architecture project that is there, oh, they made some cool 3D printing stuff. And they hear, okay, this was made in a lab also. And we, in RTU, we have what, maybe you can help me on that, 15,000 students, or, well, I think it should be something like this. Already a huge student base. The day we put the lab, open every day 10 to 5. 5 minutes later, 3 people came in. We're currently starting to collect names of people who want to get trained on 3D printing, who are interested to spend time in the lab, kind of be responsible of the lab as well. So even so, with a very slow start, a simple A4 pages on a window, things start happening.
I'm just curious about the languages of the course, because your website is just in English, so your course will be in English or Latvian?
So, I mean, if you have internet here.
Of course so.
You can go to the website.
Because it's quite unusual for Latvian university to have websites in plain English. It's not very common.
The courses will be in English, but there's a catch always. Oh, so English is the official operation language of the Design Factory, but this doesn't mean we don't speak Latin in Design Factory either. Why English? Because if we start talking product development, if we start talking technology development, you need to communicate it. If you develop rubber sensors that are fantastic, but you talk about it only in Latvian, how many are you going to sell? If you're able to communicate the project in English, then you reach a much wider audience. If you're able to get information back, feedback, but also read information, collect information, learn terms associated with your project, that's a huge advantage for you. So this is why we work in English, but we're not asking people to speak English perfectly. In fact, we're not even asking about proof they speak English, just if you're willing to communicate. And English is maybe, it's a language, not only you can do mistakes, but you have to.
But RTU students have those bachelor master degrees in Latvian, I suppose you're targeting them for as a CRC course or something like that, so they need to switch to English at that point, or how it's...
For the C courses in English, the rest of their classes is still in Latvian.
Okay.
And also in the team, especially for the PDP, these are international teams. I mean, you have maybe you're a team of 5 Latvian people, 2 people in Shanghai, 2 people in Helsinki. English is probably the easiest language to communicate all together, unless everyone knows Chinese or Finnish or Latvian.
Any more questions?
I think it's these guys is very suitable for Richard's university.
Yeah, I've heard some kind of very happy news for switching of mindset of our higher education, because some time ago in Riga Technical University there's no ideas about English speaking course or something like that. Yeah, it's just first that I see this thing happening now.
Yeah, and I think it's English just imposed itself. We never really had a discussion. Do we do it in Latvian? Do we do it in English? Do we do it in Russian as well? I mean, English just imposed itself because of the context, because of the content, because of how the information is available. I mean, my mother language is French. There are many terms I know in English, many subjects I can talk about in English. I would be absolutely incapable of talking about them in French, because I do not have the vocabulary.
What's happening about the critical mass of students if they are locally, let's say, critical mass is Latin speaking, so you are usually is not able, you're not able to force them to speak English because they're not Latvian at this point, in team, for example.
We also have public presentation of the project twice a year in English, where we invite the company giving a challenge. These companies, for the ones we have now, we have half Latvian companies, half foreign companies.
Okay.
So also the people giving the assignment may not be Latvian themselves. Technology developed within the university could be by a foreign researcher as well. So it's, and then if you're in the workshop, you're doing something, you're on a machine, security instruction, etc. Of course, these come in Latvian. I mean, if we give them to you in English and you don't understand them, we're going to be the one in trouble because you did not understood them. We need to make sure you understand as well. The main language is English, but if you need to understand something in Latvian, you need a translation that is absolutely available. It's not about speaking perfectly, it's about communicating.
Any more questions, Charles? My last question. What was biological printing machines in your lab? Are you
we'll see in the
future some of that?
We'll see, maybe not. I'm very curious to see where these biological printing machines are going.
Okay.
I've seen some quite interesting projects. There's one made, I think it was 3-4 years ago in RCA about a designer printing steaks. So printing food, literally, but meat.
Yeah.
So you could design your own beef steak. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Charles. So, this is yours. So next speaker is yours from what's photo? materials.
About filaments.
Yep.
Quite new filament. I'm Juris from Massportal. Krister's also from Massportal, and we will be quite short because if we talk about filaments, there is less to talk, more to print. But that's, I hope the next meetup will be in more productive atmosphere, not so much speaking, but doing. About my emotions, what I want to tell you. Krister some time ago introduced how you met these guys from Dutch guys, cool guys.
Colourpop guys I met in an exhibition in London, and Colourpop is well known for their materials, and yeah, obviously we want to have some kind of partnership with them. So now we are testing their new materials, including the Colourpop XT that probably yours will tell you more about in what ways it differs and so on. Well, they basically have a bunch of different materials in good quality. They really pay attention on what comes out of their factory. So that's why we're with them.
So then I tell something about my emotions according to these new materials. The first, I'm a perfectionist. I like what I like, and the range of colors that was really differs from what I have seen before. It made me happy about the colors and what's behind these colors. I tell you about my 3 issues in 3D printing. Main heroes are PLA, it's corn, not smelling, easy to print, not warping, and eco-friendly, very liquid. It's hard to make good settings for that.
That's full bright colors, so they're not like
Yes,
ABS.
then is ABS, that's very good polishing, very good smelling, wife is crying, and you are like, after some days of printing, you're very happy. Very good polishing, acetone smoothing, very nice prototypes, but very big % of warping, and you must deal with it. Then was my favorite material, that was PET material, not smelling, very rigid, like ABS, not warping, but slow flow rate, very slow printing. So Delta is fast machine, and slow printing and fast Delta is not so interesting.
Don't find that.
But polishing is very bad about PET. There you must have prints with good quality, that you must count that you will not smoothen the prototypes. Okay, and then Krister's bought a new
It's all about the ladies today.
New boxes with something inside, and
So this material is not ABS, it's not
it's
PLA.
some kind of copolymer, patented, for a patented formula. They are behind this Colourpop. There is very clever guys, and
They own a chemical factory.
They aim to make the best material for printing, that not smelling, not warping, good smoothing, rigid, very more flexible than than PLA, and the flexibility is the same like PET. ABS is more kind of trousers.
Fragile.
Or fragile.
Fragile, yeah. And what the conclusion? There is no slow printing. That not happens. That's good. We can print very fast with good quality. Or we must cool it. Very short cool time. But you can have the next layer in very short terms. Very good smoothens. That's the ABS was the leader. Now there is a serious concurrent. And what else? Not smelling. That's for eco thinking. And the best of PET, best of PLA, best of ABS. And I really hope that these guys will improve these recipes for the 6T more and more, and we will get the best printing material what we have seen ever. So about these two ladies.
We can talk about these
This,
three.
The simple XT material also we have or color have transparent printing material, like very clear transparent was only on PET material, but XT is also very clear transparent prints. That's one more plus.
I will say a little bit about these two ladies we have on the left or right from you. This is a bronze fill, also from ColorPub, and this is a wood fill. I will pass it around as well. This is how it comes out of a 3D printer. You'll see in a second. And when you polish it, you get that bronze look like.
There is a 50% bronze powder inside.
I heard 80.
And we will talk with them about more than 65%. Then we can make a metal 3D cooking. If you know what I'm talking about, you print. If there is a percent of some powder, metal powder inside, more than 65%, as more as you can, till 80%, 90%, then you can make metal parts, just put it in autoclave, and there is not on PLA basis this plastic, but on PA polyacrylate, and it when you cook it, it not top, yeah, but it like glass size, and then all the metal is, and you get a little smaller, but the same model. This coefficient is according to how it becomes smaller from powder, from percentage of metal in plastic.
Do you know if they're also making experiment with brass or silver?
I think they're also making it with gold. Those two included gold as well. Not sure. Not the manufacturers. We received the
Most
product.
popular is
Like
steel powder inside, but it's in the polyacrylate. And then we will get the metal printer. Without metal printer, that's cheap.
Are you trying to tell us we need an autoclave now? We need an
You
autoclave.
don't have? I know that you have, but you don't know about that. In technical university it happens that they have no idea about what they have.
We're
We will
slowly
help.
changing that.
We will manage that. And the best smell in our office is when it's printing with bamboo filament.
It has 20% bamboo in it, so it really smells like wood. It feels like wood. I have the school here as well. Probably we'll meet later and touch and discuss that. And the third one, actually, enough about these. The third one in the middle is carbon fiber, reinforced.
We don't send. We didn't
This is
send it to.
This is an experiment, but
technical university to prove this.
but
Clear carbon fiber.
no, it isn't.
I think there is some kind of powder inside. Nothing wrong. There is no.
There's no weave anything.
No wire
Yeah.
inside this wire.
It made possible with glass and carbon
We
fiber.
did not tested it in the forest or in the field, but they are they will visit us, and we if you have some questions or dreams about something what you want to be in filament world, yes, then send these questions to us. These guys will come to us.
Rubber materials that he will talk about. I'm sorry we're doing such a bad job, but we really read that we have a presentation only yesterday on
Also-
the website.
Quite flexible materials. That was competition for us, but
It springs in one piece.
yeah,
Pass around.
that's a chain for half chain from my
By
invention. Chain scooter, yeah, and yes, that's it.
Isla push.
What's the melting temperature?
Oh, they wrote that it's 220 maximum, 260 prints. Very good. They don't know what they sell.
This may
Yeah,
be
quite
for
good.
making molds as well.
This is Ninja
Oh.
Flex, yeah.
Yeah, because the resistance of temperature it's very good. It's not start to degradation. It's not good.
What
I mean slow speed,
fastest speed what you have printed?
fastest speed.
Yeah.
We will try on D16. It's two weeks about something about 2 weeks when I practice with printing. Normally busy with building the printer. Now I can look what happens in the printing world with filaments, with settings, with the fastest speed. What differs now with these materials? Sometimes in the nozzle it cools very fast that you stop or make a pause to change the color of filament, and it inside in the end of the nozzle is cooled, and it means that we can experiment with the very fast prints, and that will be cool because
Because previously the problem is that the plastic doesn't cool fast enough and it can't stay in the shape it's
Yeah.
supposed to. That's why you
very,
can't really
very
print
fast
fast.
prints. It's nothing about dream, but if it's reality, then it's very cool.
What is line size for this tablet?
0.3. And that was this big nozzle, and 0.7. And because I needed to make the print successfully, but then it's not successful print. But nice looking.
Yes.
So what about the price tag for these materials?
40 euros.
40 euros, 750 grams. About that, but
It's 41 or something. That.
but I think that this price is everyone asked for the price. If you count that you pay $10 to save your nerves at in the time of the month, then I think that's better to pay 10 more euros.
So all three materials will be in one price. Or the
All
carbon
the
fiber.
good, all the good things about those materials in one. That's what we believe. I mean, we're not color club. We're not like their representatives or anything. It's just we're now telling our experience about this material because we really like it.
It's expensive than most popular that you can reach in Reprap, but not so expensive like Talman small rolls, and I think for that result that's very adequate price. And there you cannot feel behind this happy about prints, you cannot feel the difference of 10 euros.
Any more questions for Master Photo guys?
Šis dienas stāvumam galvā ir priekš bronzas tāds pats.
Jā, mēs ceram, ka viņš ir tāds pats. We think about that we have some powder that is very abrasive in this material, that we must if there is bronze, we have a brass nozzle. Bronze is harder. What happens in long term with the nozzle? And we need to build some nozzle from beryllium bronze or something like that. Is still not suitable because about temperature. Not very good providing temperature to filament, and not
I think the same will be with the carbon fiber material.
Oh,
Well, I'm not even
didn't
sure about
measure
how
this
much
all.
of a carbon fiber it really is. Maybe it's just
That's the
a name or whatever.
Just make a carbide nozzle.
But we make not so expensive nozzles that you can buy from us a new one just to make from 0.25 to after year 0.5. Okay, we will after some big job we will give you for free this 0.25 nozzle.
No. It's 10 euros.
10 euros.
Don't ruin my business.
Okay.
you must do a really good job with the free nozzle.
If you give me good pictures, what you have done, then I steal from him, from you.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, last question for Master Photo guys.
Juri, kādas temperatūras?
Temperatūras tādas pašas kā Petnam, pilnīgi tas pats ir heatbed 80 un 260 labi tur temperatūra un labi plūstamība viņam ir. Tas ir forši. Okay.
Thank you. So we've come to the very end of the presentation of the meetup. So, as I said, for the next time we will have 3D printing startup pitch on one place for our whole meetup. I would like to have at least one 3D printing startup here from Latvia. Is there a 3D printing building startup or object printing startup, like car printing startup, or is it some kind of software for 3D printing? It doesn't matter, but as long as it belongs to 3D printing tag itself, because we will bring a couple of investors for the next time, so it probably will be interesting for them to dive deeper into this very technological things. So we came to the announcement part. Is there any announcements today for looking for 3D designer job offers, 3D printing services, event announcements? So be brave and just speak out.
Keep it as a...
Is there any announcements? No announcements for today? Nobody is looking for something? Okay. Then, last time we talked about plasma and 3D printing ecosystem development. There's a couple ideas how to develop this ecosystem in order to be more international, accessible, and so on. There's an idea to create a Facebook page for something for that Facebook group. Is there some kind of progress on that? There's some couple of guys who is trying to do something at that.
We have an idea according to real facts that, for example, there was one huge project in USA. I don't remember, San Francisco model, printed model or something like that.
Okay.
They bring to community everyone who have printer,
Okay.
make some piece of San Francisco and send to us in a very short time, and you can make huge projects inside this
It's crowd printing.
crowd printing, yes. And these guys had such a problem some months ago, the same problem. And,
What they are printing?
then there was,
What are they not?
we have not such a, we have idea just cup for the some competition. The idea is it's asphalt. It's a real test piece of asphalt and printed number of ways.
What kind of competition is it?
Racing.
It's a racing, it's motor orienteering. And there was a problem with the quantity in short term, what to do, and we have idea so
Oh, okay.
to reduce.
So you got a large amount of printouts you need for tomorrow, but there's not available.
And medals too.
We never received a call.
Then must be some technical joke, we must have ring the alarm. Guys, I need to help, big ammo. Maybe
Yeah, that's why there was an idea about some community page, I don't know, or something like that. But
I think we can do this in a paper.
it could be some kind of group like 3D printing Latvia or something like that.
I think the best way how to collaborate is with making things together.
Okay.
That's a good example of that.
Yeah, but at least we need to start with something where people how to join them and merge together. How do they know each other, let's say, and exchange information? And Facebook page is quite effective tool, I think.
Okay, we will do in Facebook some account.
Because this 3D printing sculpture guy last time he was here. He told that they start these books from Facebook page. They just grow up into the 50,000 followers or something like that, and then they start crowdsourcing some kind of stage. So at least we need to show up how big this community is, and you see the members and likes, and because only some kind of metrics for ecosystem size now. It's this Meetup group, which is just 6 or 60 or something like that members. Like it's less than 100. It seems it's almost nothing for the whole country. So probably Facebook page will grow faster. and bigger. But so you could take initiative to register the page and put somehow together, and so spread the word, so we could collaborate and inform each other.
Okay.
And then the next time we can discuss about that if you...
Yeah, we will present launching of the Facebook page. So.
We will pitch the Facebook page.
Yeah. And then please drop me a line if you got ideas for next speakers, because now since we got reasonable funding for meetups, we could pay them to come here to cover the travel costs and other stuff. So probably we'll hire a little bit. We will make hires as level of speakers here from international society, something like that. Yeah, that's it all for today. Thank you for coming. And yeah, let's talk and more do. So yeah, we could go to the next room and play with the 3D printers and talk each other. Okay, thank you guys. And see you in the next meet in November or something, middle of November. Okay.